Good morning, my name is Lucia Lobello and I am the Women in Engineering representative for the Industrial Electronics Society of the IEEE. I am Associate Professor at the University of Catania in Italy and the leader of the Real-Time Systems and Network Research Group. My research interests include automotive communication, industrial real-time networks, wireless sensor networks, and real-time embedded systems. I am responsible for the University of Catania of several European and national projects and research contracts with companies. I was the chair of the IEEE Industrial Electronics Society Technical Committee on Factory Automation. I am currently the secretary of the Industrial Electronics Society, and as I said before, I am the Women in Engineering representative for the Industrial Electronics Society since 2017. In this role, I am the founder and chair of the Women in IES initiative. But before going into the Women in IES initiative, let's speak about my personal experience about being a woman in engineering. So basically, I was born in Syracuse, a town in Sicily. At the age of 18, I left my hometown to study electronics engineering at the University of Catania. At that time, the typical objection was, why does a woman choose electronics engineering? Sure that you can make it? And now I say, well, I made it. After my PhD, I was visiting researcher at Seoul National University in South Korea. At that time, the typical objection was, is it really worth going so far for a woman? Now I can say, well, it was good for my career. In 2014, I was guest professor at Mälardalen University, Sweden, for 6 months. At that time, the typical objection was, what about your family? Now I can say, well, we manage. Nowadays, my trolley is always ready for the next trip. Typical objection is, you are often far from home. And now I say, well, it's part of my work. But would such objection be asked me if I were a man? Well, we know the answer. But work-life balance for women is possible. A woman can enjoy success, both at work and at home. It takes some effort, but it is definitely possible. But still, we have to get rid of cultural biases about women in engineering. First of all, narration must change from home and family to school to the workplace. This means that women interested in a career in engineering must be encouraged to follow their inclination, regardless of gender stereotypes that thinks that women are not good for STEM. And men need to be part of the action. This means that discussions about women in engineering don't have to happen in women's inner circles. Women talking to other women simply doesn't work. And this is in some sense the rationale behind the initiative that I'm going to speak about. So first of all, let's recap what IEEE is. We know it's the world's largest international non-profit professional organization dedicated to advancing technological innovation and excellence for the benefit of humanity. We know the publication, conferences, standards, and professional and educational activities of IEEE. The Industrial Electronics Societies are one of the societies within IEEE, and the scope is technical activities devoted to the application of electronics and electrical sciences for the enhancement of industrial and manufacturing processes. So IES includes intelligent and computer control system, robotics, factory communication and automation, flexible manufacturing, data acquisition, signal processing, vision system, power electronics. And the Society continually updates its program of technical activities to meet the needs of modern industry. But what about membership? So these figures are from last year, December 2019, and here we can see that more than 85% of members of IEEE are men. Female are less than 7%. And the same applies at the society level. So the figures of IES in terms of membership by gender are quite close to those of IEEE, which means too few women. So what IEEE is doing to increase the participation of women to technical activities? Well, the initiative is the IEEE Women in Engineering, and it's one of the largest international professional organizations dedicated to promoting women engineers and scientists. It's a global network connecting about 20,000 members in more than 100 countries to advance women in technology at all points in their life and career. And women in engineering affinity groups and sections are spread all over the world. The idea of women in engineering is to create a vibrant community of IEEE women and men who collectively use their diverse talents to innovate for the benefit of humanity. The Women in IES initiative, that is the topic of this speech, is a brand of IES. It has been established within IES in 2017, and it's a task force of motivated professional IES members that collaborate in building, implementing a strategic plan for women in engineering activities within the IES. So our mission is increase participation of women in the society, create a comfortable environment for women in IES to meet, network, and develop their careers, to encourage girls and young women to pursue careers in any engineering discipline close to industrial electronics, and to support inclusion and diversity in the workplace. So basically we have these best practices for increasing visibility of women. So we want to encourage women at all levels to join IES and Women in IES, create a database of women in the society, nominate women for leadership positions, such as technical committees member or general chair, program chair of conferences. We want to hold at least one Women in Engineering event at each major conference of the society. We want to work with the region where the conference is held, networking with the local industry, holding STEM workshops, having women in engineering presentations in schools and colleges. We do edit a spotlight column in the Industrial Electronic magazine, enhancing diversity and inclusion, and also in the society newsletter. And this is for the future. We want to dedicate Society Women in Engineering web page promoting society activities and initiatives for women in engineering. So my first task as the Women in IES chair was preparing the 3-year Women in Engineering roadmap, drawing new perspectives for women in engineering and industrial electronics. Such a roadmap includes some actions. First action is Women in Engineering Forum workshops to be run every year at some of the major society conferences. Then we want to participate to the Women in Engineering initiative at the IEEE level. We want to run a thematic technical workshop with industry, and also give IES presentation events to female students at school, colleges, and universities. This roadmap was submitted to the IEEE as a part of the IES Growth Center project application and got funded. So basically we got something like 50,000 euros per year with this activity, and We organized a number of forum or technical workshops like this one. We started in Beijing in October 2017 at ICON 2017, and then we made another one in Washington at ICON 2018, and also ICON last year in Lisbon. Then also other conferences wanted to host our Women in Engineering forum, so this was the case of IES IT Melbourne and IES IT this year in Buenos Aires, IES IE in Vancouver, INDIM in Helsinki, ETFA in Saragossa last year, and now this conference here in Cagliari. The third activity is the Women in IES column of the Industrial Electronic magazine that I keep on going since 2018, and the fourth activity, kind of social network related, is the Women in IES LinkedIn group. What about these forums? So the format is typically this one. We have speakers and we have some kind of panel discussion. In COVID time this has been more difficult to implement, but we have had panel discussion in previous events. And this is not just for women. I mean, in all our Women in Engineering forums, we had also male attendees to exchange ideas with us and network in relaxed atmosphere. So, for instance, these are the speakers that we had in Beijing. Every time we try to mix people from companies and people from academia, people of different age and different experience. And as I told you, the attendance has always been quite good. We run a successful event. This is from Beijing. This is from Washington. This is from Melbourne. These are our speakers and panelists in Vancouver. This is an interesting initiative in collaboration with the University of Aalto in Finland and the Finnish Automation Foundation. It was a day workshop also for networking for a European project, and we had people from Ericsson and from other companies. We had also some panel organized in Saragossa with the local university. We have developed synergies with IES chapters and PhD summer schools, like this one in Gaeta on power electronics, electrical machine, energy control and power system. Among our outreach activities, I was invited in Catalonia by the Gender Commission of the Official Chamber of Informatics Engineering, and I could meet the General Director of Quality from the Catalan government, and also the President of the Gender Commission of the Official Chambers of Informatics. And other outreach activities, for instance, last year, September, there was the European Sharper Night at the University of Catania. These are public events funded by the European Commission under the Marie Curie Actions, dedicated to bringing researchers closer to the public. And we organized a seminar on women in STEM with other colleagues working on renewable energies, biomedical engineering, nuclear astrophysics, and electrical engineering. And the aim is always the same. We want to motivate young people, especially women, to embark on research career. This was very successful. We had a high attendance and very high impact on social media. As I said, I keep this column on the Industrial Electronic magazine to communicate our initiative and discuss relevant topics, and I also created this Women in IES LinkedIn group. Now we have actually 8-9 members, so we improved And it's nice because it's an easy way to network. So if we have some job opportunities, something to advertise, we can use this channel. And in some sense we were effective, because you remember these are the figures from last year. Well, this year, this is membership by gender within IES, and the percentage of women increased significantly. So we are still too few compared to male, but the situation is improving. So that's all. Some work has been done so far, but there is still a lot to do. So if any of you is interested in joining us, in joining this Women in IES initiative, please send me an email. Moreover, if you are IEEE member but you are not a member of IES, send me an email and your IEEE number, and I will offer you the free IES membership for 1 year. That's all. Thank you very much for your kind attention.